Hold on, y'all. Second. We just started. All right. There we go. That's much better. What is going on, Money Gang? Yes, sir. Yo, what's good, JB? How you doing? Appreciate you for pulling through. I'm gonna wait a few minutes, get this thing started. We're slightly behind schedule, but nothing too serious. Excuse me a minute. I'm checking in with my boy Devo the Ambivert right now because he's streaming live, and he's pulling up this live stream on his live stream. So we kind of covering two areas right now. So before my boy even gets in here, shout out to Devo the Ambivert. Yes, sir. Got my boy Devo in here. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get this party rolling. And my boy Platinum Gumbo up in here too. What's good? Yes, sir. All right, we're gonna get stuff started. Let me know right now what do y'all want to start with? Do y'all want to start with the persistent bar breakdown, or do you want me to address the YouTube stuff first? Okay. I see I see I see YouTube. JB says YouTube. Devo, I'm listening to you through my phone, so let me know what you said because I didn't hear you. Bar breakdown. All right, Devo says bar breakdown. Um, Platinum says YouTube. So that's a 2 to 3 right there. Excuse the background in case I haven't mentioned this before. My brother Epic IC, he be in and out of here, so if the door moves at any certain time, that's him doing something behind me. I don't know what, but that's what's going down. All right. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. Um, we're gonna go over the YouTube thing. We're gonna address that. That got the vote, so that's what we're gonna do. So, if you pay attention to the YouTube news, a few days ago, YouTube removed the ability to see dislikes on the video, right? Now, there were a lot of excuses, and I'm not going to go into all of them because I don't want to make that any longer than it needs to be. But people were basically saying, in association with YouTube, they were basically saying They're doing it to protect the small creators and from like harassment and claiming that people were just hitting the dislike on videos just because they didn't like the person and whatever, you know. eh, that's that only plays a small part because that's true in some cases, but it's not really the reason. I don't know how to pull this up, and I don't know who did the video, but there is a video that explained this. I don't know if it's been removed or whatever, but there was a video explaining this. Susan, the CEO, right? YouTube, on her channel, she uploads videos, and her like to dislike ratio is astonishingly just it's like a couple dozen or 100 likes to like thousands of dislikes. So they may not say it, but that's honestly it in a nutshell. Tired of all the dislikes, so now you can't see the dislikes. That's that's the long and short of it. Um, and I've said this. I've said this so many times. For those people who know their YouTube history, ever since Susan has started in 2016, it's just been a plummet. It has, you know, it is what it is. The amount of YouTubers who have told their story, yeah, I'm saying from the reaction side, the gaming side, the music side, all that stuff is different, right? And it's not getting better because every year it's something else. Um, you know, I will what we can do is at a later event, because I don't want to hold people on a Sunday. At a later event, we can either stream or do a different live at another time, and we can fully go in depth on everything that has been going on with YouTube. But as far as the dislike situation is concerned, that is the reason why you can still dislike a video, but you can no longer see the number of dislikes you have on a video. You can't even see it for your own. I've been in YouTube Studio. It doesn't show you a thing, you know? And that was upsetting to me, not only because that's basically censoring people's opinions on a video, but at the same time, when I dropped my new single Persistent, I um I made a post on my Instagram literally saying that you know a song is doing well when you have haters disliking it when based on the subject matter because someone disliked the video. So now I have no way of knowing if anyone disliked, a song of mine, which I don't really care. I'm just pleased to know the haters are listening. You understand what I'm saying? JB is Devo the Ambivert. I will type that in the chat for you right now. His knowledge when it comes to hip hop is astounding. I kid you not. He's a very knowledgeable when he speaks on stuff. Very very much so, above and beyond. So that's his channel right there, Devo the Ambivert. Go show him love. Much appreciation to all of you who do that. I'm not going to hold this up any longer. We're gonna get straight into the bar breakdown because that is gonna take us a nice chunk of time. You feel me? So, oh, my bad. Hold on, y'all. Drop my phone. We're all good though. We're all good. All right. So we are gonna get right into the bar breakdown. So, what I'm going to do is pull up just for reference sake, I want to pull up the uh lyrics just because I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. You feel me? So, give me 1 second. Okay. I appreciate you, JB, for checking out Devo there. I can hear him in my background. All right, so I pause sometimes just because, especially now, like I said, since I'm listening to Devo's live through through my phone and he's listening to me, I can hear how much time is like delayed between me speaking and you guys hearing it. I'm just like, wow, that's really delayed. But in any event, we are going to get right into this bar breakdown. If you have not yet heard Persistent, then then this, you're in for a roller coaster if you haven't heard the song yet. And if you have and you don't understand everything you heard, we're about to get into it now. So without further ado, we're gonna get right into that. So the first verse, I said, first line, self-explanatory. Never let negative set in like sedatives. Basically, the mindset behind persistent is as simple as it says: being persistent, in whatever you do, not letting the haters get to you, not letting the negatives of life get to you. That's the whole point of the song. It's a motivational song. So, negative things are going to happen to you in life. That's just life. But you can't let it set in like sedatives, because a sedative, it sedates you. It puts you in a state of, I don't want to misinterpret where I'm trying to go with this, but if you understand how sedatives work and what they do in the body, it's the same thing. If you allow everything negative to be a sedative to you, then you're just affected only by the negative and continue to go down a downward spiral, if you will. So that's the point to that. A lot of my bars in my music is very motivational and deep as to that point. So that's important to understand as well. So, never let negative set in like sedatives. Well, my friend, in the end, it'll be better than Helen when fake folks pretend while they're doubting and use you like stands, claim it's a helping hand. Yeah, that's a bit of a mouthful. I'm gonna get to it. So all of that is basically to say, the again, referencing the negative stuff that happens in life, the negative stuff we go through on a daily basis, or whenever you go through what you go through. Keep being persistent is the subliminal message, because at the end of this, at the end of the road, you know, it'll be better, you know, than the hell, literally, specifically, like I said, hell. And when fake folks pretend, right? Because there's a lot of phonies out here. I shouldn't even have to say that without people understanding that, because you see how things are out here, man. You got people being fake. You got people out here backstabbing and betraying people and just doing all this crazy stuff out here. And that's not new. It's not new, but now more than ever, it needs to be re-emphasized over and over and over, because some people get it, some people don't, and then it's like some people get it, but they just don't care. So, and I'm not one to be repetitive. I don't like being repetitive at all. But but it's very important to me when it comes to matters like this. So that is so that's the thing with that there. So fake folks pretend while they're doubting and use you like stands. What that means is when with those same people that right they pretend that they pretend that they're actually with you, but they're doubting you, right? And they use you like stands. Now, of course, stands, the term stand is normally formulated towards Eminem and his fans. They're called stands. I guess that would make me a stand as well. But also what that also means, that's a double, because there's an anime called JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, and in the final season of the show, if I'm not mistaken, um they they had an entity that you couldn't see but they controlled, and it was called a stand, right? And that ties into the piece after that, claim it's a helping hand, because the main character, Jotaro, his stand was known for punching and stuff using his hands. So fake friends will claim that they're giving you a helping hand, while what they're really doing is trying to use you like a stand, the invisible entity that um an invisible entity that they control. And then that goes right into the rest of that that little piece of the first verse, because it says, while they question your plan, infest though don't understand, invest to take all your land, say quit but trust me my man, haters hate the fate of others becoming great, try to take from me but make no mistake, right? And all that again is just to say, you have those fake people, you have those people who doubt you, those people who come in, and they try to use you for what you got, right? And they don't understand it. That's why I say infest, though don't understand, right? And then they invest in you, or it looks like they're investing in you, but they're only doing that so that they can take what you acquire later. And then some of them, they just tell you to quit. But trust me when I say, haters hate the fate of others becoming great. And this goes right back to the dislike thing with YouTube too, because if you don't have haters, you are not successful. You're not. You know what I'm saying? You're not successful if you don't have haters. That's just a fact. Because haters only try to mess with you if you doing something successful. So haters hate the fate of others becoming great. And then final line of the first verse, it's some personal stuff, because they did try to take from me. I've had a lot of haters over there ever since I was a little kid. There's always been a hater somewhere, you know, but but I've still been persistent ever since. Even there were times I felt like giving up, but still being persistent and still going through. And that goes into the hook, where I said, persistent with the vision I've been given on a mission, never quit until I hit the finish in life. So I'm not giving up. I'm going till the end, right? That's the definition of a winner's son. Handle business like a champion. I will never be done. Ripping rappers up for fun. No obstacle can stop this one. So if that is what you think, then you are seriously dumb. My bars aren't antiseptic, leave you furiously numb. You will stay being beat like this since my persistence is a one, right? So all that again is to say, no obstacle's going to stop me. Whoever comes in my way, whatever. Listen, for one, my faith in God is too strong to let any person stop me or slow me down from what I'm doing. First and foremost, always got to give my love and respect to God, because without him, I wouldn't be doing none of this right now. Then that's just facts. So, you know, so like I said, if you think it's going to stop me, That's not smart. If you think that, you're dumb. Self-explanatory line. Um, I'm actually, I think my favorite line from the hook has to be where I said my bars are an antiseptic, leave you furiously numb, because basically rapping as fast as I do, it can it can stun you basically, right? So by saying my bars are an antiseptic, right? And what does an antiseptic do? An antiseptic numbs pain. So me rapping at the speed I do can numb the ears, right? And the realism behind that bar and what made me love that bar even more is because about a month and a half, 2 months ago, I was sick, as some of you know, and my lymph nodes are swollen. I couldn't even speak, and I had received a oral antiseptic spray. And when I thought about it, I was like, "Yo, that's crazy," you know. But of course, things happen for a reason. And if I hadn't have gotten sick, I probably would have never came up with that bar. So, it is what it is. So, and then again, close out the hook. You will stay being beat like this since my persistence is A1. Now, into the second verse, incorporating A1. You know, um, A1, I'm not talking steak sauce. That's obvious. A1 steak sauce. I wanted to connect that double because persistence was already connected to the end. I wanted to, when I rap, I love to rap in connection. I love everything to be in sync. So I ended the hook with A1. I started verse 2 with A1. That's what I did. Excuse me. So A1, I'm not talking steak sauce. So you must know that I take no loss. Begun years back, still bearing my cross. Bite my tongue for fun. I'm still a boss. Right? And again, it goes right back to the personal, generalization of what I've been through, right? Still being persistent, the subject matter still being persistent, right? The next four lines. This music means more to me than sports lacrosse. It's so sick to sacrifice lyrics at what cost? Will they pick what will be nice for it's because time is ticking, that's just life, and it reeks of. Now, all that is to say, and especially, and again, that's just real bars, right? Because this music thing, my rapping, my music, it does. I emphasize it meaning more than sports, but my music is literally the second most important thing that I have in my life. So I take it very seriously. I enjoy it, but it's a level of seriousness that I take to it as well. And that goes right into the next line where I say it's so sick to sacrifice lyrics at what cost? Because especially in mainstream, you've got the mumble rappers, you got the stripper rappers, you got basically everything going on except for bars and lyricism. It's a few mainstream artists who do have it, but mainstream has not been it for a very long time. It just has not. You know, stuff people want to sacrifice the lyrics for the sound. And I always reference back to when NF said in intro 2, yeah, I see you got beats, but where are the lyrics at? People forget that rapping in its origin, its background is about lyrics. That's the primary piece. If you don't have the lyrics in rap, then you don't have rap. You don't. You just don't. It is what it is. So, will they pick? Literally, this part is kind of like a question. Will they pick? Like, what is it going to be? Is it going to be the lyricism, or is it going to be this trash stuff here? Because listen, and I've said this before many a times. I don't judge music by the beat, because being not just a rapper but a beatboxer and a drummer, sounds from all different genres, they're fire. They sound good, right? Is always gonna be a good beat. At least to me, being a musician not outside of rap as well, right? But what are you saying that makes the beat better? Because if you listen to a song just for the beat, there's not even a point to have the lyrics on there. That just doesn't make sense. You might as well just make the instrumental and just listen to it with no words. If that's the case, if all you're here for is the beat and not what the artist puts on the beat, then there's no point. It's not. It is what it is. So then I go into this crazy scheme here with the letter I that I've literally done through this entire verse for verse 2. And the crazy part is I didn't realize that I did that until I went back and I actually noticed as far as the first 8 lines we just covered went over, because I didn't realize that I had I schemes in there until I started actually intentionally writing an I scheme for the rest of the verse. So, and that goes into the connection. So, will they pick what would be nice? For it's because time is ticking, that's just life, and it reeks of, and then here we go, idiots enjoying idolizing arrogance. Now, that sounds like it's just a lot of, big words, but it actually means a great deal because we live in a time where idiots enjoy idolizing arrogance. Arrogance isn't just a thing, but for not just the uneducated, but for those who are closed minded as well. So you can idolize arrogance and not even realize it. But some people do that on purpose. And that is a very concerning thing. That's real. So idiots enjoying idolizing arrogance because they're indubitably irritating might just be lacking common sense, insisting they know everything, but really just immensely dense, imitating anything once snakes see success like a leech or pest. Now that sounds like a lot, but it means a great deal, like I said already, especially when it comes down to basically those first 3 lines is about, like I said, the closed-minded, the people who don't understand certain things as far as how things should work, facts and truth over lies and deceit and all the other crazy stuff we have to deal with, right? But as it pertains, keeping relevance to the topic of being persistent, right? Insisting they know everything, but really just immensely dense. That's the 3rd line for that piece. I have had this happen to me so many times where, especially when I was little, because I've always been invested in music. I started playing the drums when I was 2 years old. So I've always been invested in music. And I've always had a good chunk of naysayers in my youth and upwards. And and a lot of it from adults. Adults who lacked maturity, had giant egos, or both. Right? And therefore, the line is really honestly self-explanatory because people claim that they know this, that, and the third, but like it says, really just immensely dense. They are closed-minded. So they're not even willing to listen to any other possibilities because, and that's the danger about a closed mind. Once you have a closed mind, you are unwilling to learn. Nobody knows everything. Nobody's even close to knowing everything. So I always say this: hear all the possibilities, right? Weigh it out between right and wrong, and then you figure out for yourself what the deal is. Into line 4 of that piece, right? Imitating anything once snakes see success like a leech or pest. I've had this happen a lot. People have been telling me, I mentioned this in my single lies that I dropped months ago, like back in February, that people told me that I'd never be a rapper. I'd never, be able to do stuff like this like I'm doing now. Proof to the naysayers and the haters. But anyways, this happens in a great deal outside of just me because people will claim that something isn't good or something's not going to make it, but then once they see that thing take off, what do? They try to imitate it. That's true for modern society and social media as well. Because why do you think all these trends are going on right now? These crazy trends and challenges that happen, right? because something becomes popular, something becomes famous, something becomes, you know, revenue drawn in, right? And now everybody's doing it. See, sometimes it's okay. Like, for example, the Godzilla challenge, right? That Eminem put out. That's different. That's a rap challenge. That's to see if you can do that. That's the whole purpose of it. But when you have these crazy stuff that be going on, and then people just want to imitate and do whatever they see, that's death. That can and often is detrimental, especially to one's health. You know, and then again, so snakes, right? We know the analogy of the snake. Apart from the devil and the serpent, a snake, right, is like someone in your circle who's not trustworthy. They have bad intentions, right? So they are the ones who will try to imitate you after they told you that what you're trying to do isn't going to work. But when they see it does, they do that. Like a leech or pest, they are basically trying to take from you. And that goes right back to verse 1. Like I said, when I write, everything is in connection. Even in other verses, everything ties back to each other. It's very woven together. So then, last four lines. For verse 2, infiltrate attempts are only made by phonies trying to flex, right? Because and then and again, this goes right back to the snake is a bad friend. No, because a person who's a snake is never your friend to begin with, because a friend won't do that to you. That's something you got to learn to be able to differentiate the two, right? So infiltrate attempts, right? The attempts to infiltrate your circle, your resources, your mental health, whatever it is. Those attempts are only made by phonies trying to flex. And the reason why I wrote that way is because as it pertains to music or copying someone taking their accomplishments, that's where that fits in. So that's that line. Then instantly sense the mess, itinerary makes invaders vex. Now, what does that mean? If you quickly understand someone's motives or you're onto them, right? Then the itinerary, right? What's an itinerary? An itinerary is basically it make sure I'm explaining this right. The itinerary is basically like what you for lack of better words, what you have to do, right? What's your plans, if you will, the itinerary, like your to-do list, if you want to think of it like that in that context, right? Focus on one path, one goal. If you do that, the invaders, the infiltrators, will be vexed, because if you are already set on a path and you can't be steered off it, they can't come in and steer you off course. They can try, but they can't, because you're persistent and you're determined to reach the goal you've set for yourself. You see, that's what that means. Then, this is so true. Imbeciles will not cease to decrease your offense, so I give them hell when I increase my defense. See, vex doesn't mean they'll give up. There's always going to be people who try to stop you from being great. Hence, imbeciles will not cease to decrease your offense, or your offense. I said it right. But that's what that means. They're not gonna stop. So I give them hell when I increase my defense, because it's gonna continue to bother them. Like I just said, being persistent means never giving up despite the odds, right? And that's the whole point of this song. So they're going to continue to be vexed. They're going to continue to um try to decrease your offense, but as long as you keep pushing, right? You're not stopping. And if they can't stop you and they can't move you off course, then there's nothing they can do. Well, they can try, but it's not going to work because of the persistent mindset, right? So, with that out the way, into verse 3. So, first 4 lines, we're going to get into that. So, never stopping when I'm copying the tongue twisting flows, clever like chopping the way I'm popping all my foes. Forever top king while whopping opponents, they've got to know. Endeavors are still watching while I'm jotting unstoppable, right? Now, I was explaining this to someone the other day actually. I don't remember what exactly I had said in full. And I'll shout out to Odell. He's in here now. Appreciate you for showing up. So again, self-explanatory lines. I'm not gonna stop what I do or how I do things. I'm gonna keep it real, keep it 100. I'm gonna do me, and that's just how it's gonna be, right? So lines 2 and 3 is simple. No one's stopping me. I'm taking out the competition. That's that's the that's the long and short of it. The funny thing was, okay, I remember now. The funny thing was about those first 4 lines is, in a way, Burger King was referenced coincidentally at that, because of the because of line 3, forever top king while whopping opponents. um I don't know why, but the discussion of Burger King came up to that, because obviously whopping the Whopper, that was funny to me. So you guys are into the joke now. But so line 4, endeavors are still watching while I'm jotting unstoppable, right? So what that basically means is, even though I'm doing all the stuff I'm doing now, my endeavors, my goals, my aspirations, whatever you want to call them, they're watching me while I'm jotting. While I was writing this verse, I was literally thinking about that. While I'm sitting here writing this, my goals and accomplishments and everything, and my dreams that I want to fulfill, they're up there looking down at me because I'm not there yet. So I can't stop. I'm unstoppable because that, again, persistent, but also because, just like I said in the hook, right? Persistent with the vision I've been given, on a mission till I hit the finish, right? I'm never quitting till I hit the finish, right? So again, it all ties in together. So I can't stop until I reach that point. And even then, I have to still keep going, right? So that's what that part is. And then into the next piece, that is just how I roll, right? Strike clowns down, now I bowl. Pin shot your nose when I hit the pole. I'm an auctioneer soul, disbelief for some gold. It's a treat just to know I will fulfill all my goals, right? So first part, strike clowns down again. Popping my foes, all that, taking out the competition. Same thing, right? So strike clowns down. Now I bowl. Obviously, if you a bowl, you knock down to pinch strike. So there's bowling and there's a golf scheme here, because pin shot your nose when I hit the pole. A pin shot. If you play golf, if the ball hits the pin, that's a pin shot. So pin shot your nose could also be taken as directed. I'm not gonna miss my shot, basically, right? If you want to interpret it that way. Um, this part here I really like though, because it ties into the final piece of the third verse. So I'm an auctioneer sold disbelief for some gold. It's a treat just to know I will fulfill all my goals. Right. So I especially love those first two lines because I'm literally talking about how in my past, right, all the disbelief and the disbelief that I had in myself at a young age, I took that all that disbelief, right, and I sold it for gold. Literally, that's what I'm saying. Because what does an auctioneer do? Auctioneers sell things, right? So I took my disbelief and the disbelief of everybody else who said I couldn't do this and made gold out of it. Hence the music I make and what I'm doing, right? And then it is a treat just to know I will fulfill all my goals. I know that I'm going to achieve what I set out to do. So that is a reward within itself as compared to actual gold. All right. And then if you've actually listened to this song, then you know that this last part of verse 3 is crazy because for 8 lines, I it's about to get wild. So brace yourself. So the last 8 lines state, hit you in the head, you were just a mole, I got the hammer. Literally like a machine gun with the lyrics, I'm a spammer. My precision could one shot you, so it really doesn't matter. An incision can eviscerate your core and then you'll shatter. The decision to try me may leave you served up on a platter. I envision that if the wolf master stomped on you, you would splatter. The division keeps on growing while I steep climb with no ladder. But the wisdom I've gained from God will turn this rapper into a master. Right? Yeah, that's a mouthful, but bear with me. We are going to break that down as soon as possible. Appreciate you, JB, and no, I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping till I surpass the top. That's exactly right. So here's the thing I love about the first line of this new flow here. So hit you in the head, you were just a mole, I got the hammer. There are so many things that tie into that one line, and I'm gonna explain that right now. So growing up, there's a game called Whack-A-Mole. I don't know who's heard it, who hasn't. I enjoyed playing that, right? So, literally self explanatory, like the line says, hit you in the head, you were just a mole, I got the hammer, right? That is how you played Whack-A-Mole. You hit the mole in the head with the hammer. That's one. Number two, there's a game that I play called Brawlhalla, and my main character on that game is called Sentinel, and his main weapon is a hammer. And if you've ever played with me in Brawlhalla, YJ and CFK will tell you you don't want to get hit with that hammer because I'm that good with it. So that's two, right? The third one, and I really like this because this line also ties right back into the auctioneer line, right? Because I said I'm an auctioneer sold disbelief for some gold, right? So what does an auctioneer use? They use a hammer, right? So I just explained that I'm an auctioneer for selling disbelief and turning it to selling it for gold, right? So now, literally 3 lines later, I'm reminding you, right? Hit you in the head, you're just a mole. I got the hammer. Because if I'm an auctioneer, then obviously I have the hammer, right? So that I love that line for that. I really do. Um, I don't think I'm forgetting any other ways that that ties into something. So yeah, I think that's it. So it's a triple right there. If I'm not missing anything else, I don't think I am. Um, but anyway, so the next line, literally like a machine gun with the lyrics, I'm a spammer, right? So of course, fast rappers, a chopper, you know, we can spit it really fast, right? So machine gun, right? The comparison is obvious. Just like with Tech Nine, he's nicknamed the Gun. Well, Tech Nine has many names. Shout out to Tech Nine, one of the greatest rappers of all time. He's in my top three, greatest rappers of all time. I truly love that man and his music. bro. Shout out to Strange Music, all that good stuff. Devo will even tell you too. He's been rocking with Strange Music longer than I have. You know, if you ever have the pleasure of listening to him talk about it or reading a comment of his, you know, but he keeping it 100 though. Like Tech is one of the greatest. I know Tech is his number one for him, but for me, I mean, he can be on some days. It's always a switch. I've explained this before. Tech Nine, Eminem, and NF in no particular order take place at number one, and it can switch in and out at any given time. But Tech Nine is still one of the greatest lyricists, choppers, just everything. That man has done so much. But moving on. So, line 3. My precision could one shot you, so it really doesn't matter. I've always talked about being precise. A lot of you have heard me mention when we start streaming on Twitch, if we do gaming, um, Fortnite is one game that I play, and I'm literally known amongst my group as the One Pump King because my precision is so good that I can literally one shot people in the game, right? And again, self-explanatory line. My precision could one shot you. Also, in one take or in one song, same correlation. So it really doesn't matter because if I can one shot you, there's nothing you can do. If I get the shot off, then I got you, right? So then line 4, an incision can eviscerate your core and then you'll shatter. This actually references back to a YouTube short that I did to Verbal Ace's Tetris beatbox, because in that rap I mentioned that if you get cut by the lyrical blade that is my lyrics, there's no coming back from that. So same thing here. An incision can eviscerate your core, then you'll shatter, right? So for those who haven't heard that particular rap, that's what that's in reference to. And that also ties into line 3 because again, the precision with the one shot. So an incision, one incision at the right point can literally do exactly what line 4 says. So then into line 5, the decision to try me may leave you served up on a platter. You don't want to try me, especially not in any not in no rap beef or in real life. You know, I don't believe in violence. I'm not for violence at all, but don't try me. So then line 6, I envision that if the wolf master stomped on you, then you would splatter. Self-explanatory line once again. Don't try the wolf. If you haven't heard Dark Side, go listen to that. So line 7, the division keeps on growing while I steep climb with no ladder. You know, climbing anything steep and without a ladder paints a picture. And the division keeps on growing. You know, there's I mention this all the time. You got the race war, you got the gender war, you got this, that, and the third. It's all kinds of division because the people in positions of power understand that united we stand, divided we fall. So the more we're divided is easier to conquer. A lot of people don't understand that concept, or they just don't care. And that's why I continue to say it. Line 8, but the wisdom I've gained from God will turn this rapper into a master. All right. Again, self-explanatory line, right? And all goes back to the understanding and the concept of being persistent, not giving up, going against the grind, going against the haters, doing what's right, and being blessed for it in the end. Because I'm telling you, that is most definitely a thing. um yeah, I mean, JB, I mean, listen, that's Listen, violence is always our last resort, and I say that all the time because I spent years teaching kung fu, right? So if you've taken any kind of martial arts, you know not to use what you know outside of self-defense. So, you know, like I said, just don't try me. Like, listen, there's no point in starting problems with people. That's just boredom. That's just stupidity. That's a waste of time and energy. And ain't nobody got time and energy to just be wasting on foolishness. You know what I'm saying? It's too much stuff out here. People trying to make bread, people trying to take care of their families. Like, listen, ain't no time for all that. It's not. You know what I'm saying? That's it's important. So listen, I'm not. We've literally been streaming for just about an hour. We got everything that we need to get out the way. I'm glad it didn't take too long because it's the holiday time right now. So I'm gonna say this before we get to our closing point. Don't expect a lot of videos around the holiday. I'm gonna upload when I can, and I still got more music on the way. I've got one. I'm featured on one song with somebody that's dropping soon, and he's also hosting a cipher. I'm on that, and I have a bunch of other stuff that I'm working on at the moment, including the people who see this is gonna know. But right before this, my boy Devo said that there was a song that came out, right, called "Out the Box" by Locksmith featuring Jaron Benson, who we've checked out twice on this channel. And he said, "Yo, you should remix this." And I literally already started writing, and I've literally almost got about a minute of bars down. So I might drop that by the end of the month. If I finish it quick enough, I might drop it on Thanksgiving. So happy holidays. That's an early present for y'all. But yeah, so make sure you're supporting the original music as an independent artist myself. If the original music is not being supported, then everything else will start to fall eventually. And I don't want to drop anything for the sake of something else. So with that being said, much love to all the people who showed up: Odell, Platinum Gumbo, JB, and my boy Devo the Ambivert. Make sure you show them all love and support. And with that being said, we are going to close up here on this Sunday. Y'all enjoy your families. You know what I'm saying? Be blessed out here and all that good stuff. So, with that being said, sign off right now. It's your boy Money Mike. Peace. God bless. I'm out. See you in the next vid. Let's get it.